Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. Taking a look at the crypto market on this fine Sunday morning, February the 12th. Guys, crypto market really has not changed too much. We're seeing the market cap hold steadily at just above $1 trillion. And we've got Bitcoin dominance up here still hugging that roughly 41% mark. Just taking a look at some of these coins, we haven't seen too much movement within the last 24 hours. Bitcoin's up a little bit, Ethereum's up a little bit, almost the same amount here. Other coins like Binance Coin down just a smidge, even XRP's down just 0.09%. Cardano's up a little bit, 2.41. We've got Matic up a little bit more, 4.91. But ultimately, the crypto space still just kind of waiting, chilling, and I think poised to see what the next move is going to be. So Bitcoin just kind of in this precarious situation right now. We did see a bit of a downturn over the last few days. Bitcoin is now basing in this zone. So I've got Bitcoin on the hourly right now, and it's trading at approximately $21,800 per coin. Let me bring up XRP here. We also saw that decline for XRP over the last few days, and it's unfortunately looking like it is making an inverted pennant pattern, which could mean another move to the downside. Now, this is obviously going to depend on where the rest of the crypto market goes. Unless there's really, really bad news out there regarding XRP, I'm hoping we can keep the bearish sentiment at bay and we do continue to see a move to the upside. XRP, though, still just hovering at around 38 cents. Not really too much movement, not really too much to talk about since about May of last year. We haven't really seen anything terribly exciting for XRP. We've just seen this vacillation, and back in September we did see a bit of a pump, but that was short-lived, obviously because of the FTX situation. We've just been vacillating, guys, anywhere between 30 cents and even up here at the top. The top was even only at 56 cents approximately. So again, right now trading at 38.1. This has been a great accumulation zone for XRP hodlers and XRP accumulators wanting to stack up on their bags. One of the most surprising coins, guys, that I have noticed as of late is Hedera HBAR. Take a look at that, guys. We are seeing explosive moves for HBAR. And even since the last time I talked about HBAR, which was, I still have the scribbles on the chart here, which was in and around here, it has gotten up even higher, about 23%, give or take. And I know I was talking about this a few days ago. When I bought it was at 0.041. And this has been a great investment for me. So far 130% on my investment thus far. I know a lot of you guys holding HBAR are probably getting really excited about this. I saw this from Foxman, 4 billion transactions are coming up. Hedera is ripping. And these are real transactions with major tech companies. Get on board or be left behind. The train is leaving the station. So we're seeing a lot of activity here on the Hedera mainnet. Lots of transactions, real world partnerships. So people are getting really excited about this. Frankie here also posting this. HBAR Kimchi Premium is expanding. Asia is picking up volume. Korea is, in fact, leading the pack. Now, if you guys don't know what a Kimchi Premium is, it's, sometimes when markets are pumping, more liquid markets, let's say in the United States, they're trading, it used to happen with just Bitcoin. Markets in the United States would be printing prices, based on supply and demand of Bitcoin. But in Korea, for whatever reason, I guess maybe lack of supply, they'd be charging a Kimchi Premium. So over and above by, sometimes 10, 20% of what Bitcoin was trading at. That's what the price would be in Korea specifically. Now, we happen to see this in other countries as well. I believe there was a recent I want to call it a kimchi premium, but it happened in Africa, so I don't think we would call it a kimchi premium there. But it was in, I think, Nigeria, where Bitcoin was actually trading for more, I think a few $1,000s more than it was trading on the open market, and that was just recently. Now we're seeing this, guys, for HBAR. So HBAR, at least at the time of this snapshot, trading up a little bit here. 0.098 from the Upbit exchange compared to 0.095 on Binance. So interesting news. HBAR really flying, guys. How many of you guys have purchased into HBAR and are really excited about this project? We did see this particular coin go as high as about 58 cents back in the last bull run. Let me just bring that down here, 58 cents. So a lot of potential for this particular coin, I think. And even if I get back up to all-time high, I'm looking at 1,317% on my investment. So that's kind of what we're seeing in the market today. I also happened upon this by XRP Fitness. with regards to what is happening with the SEC and staking laws in the United States. Apparently, Nexo is also now deciding to discontinue their staking rewards for US customers starting on April the 1st. So if you guys have signed up for Nexo, you probably have also received this statement here. As you probably are aware, on January the 19th, we announced our settlement with the SEC consisting of this. However, following this development, we would now like to inform you that we will be stopping our earn interest product for all U.S. clients, which includes U.S. citizens and U.S. residents, including U.S. territories, on April the 1st, and all fixed terms will then be unlocked. As you are a U.S. client, we ask that you begin planning the withdrawal of your funds at a convenient time by this date. So, for those Nexo users, you do have until April the 1st, 2023 to withdraw your funds. They're going to be unlocking them, and they're giving you guys a window here. I mean, this is at least better than being blindsided by companies like Celsius or FTX or whomever, companies just going bust, losing all your cryptocurrency. I mean, that is a nightmare situation. And I mean, again, we're still going through the teething pains here, and Nexo wanting to be prudent. Obviously, because of the Kraken result, these guys do not want to take any chances. So I wanted to thank XRP Fitness just for bringing that to our attention. We also got this from XRP Crypto Wolf, guys. Despite what is happening, despite the teething pains, G20 countries are exploring coordinated crypto regulation. So this is the latest from G20 countries. Nirmala Sitharaman, finance minister of current G20 president India, said the group of major economies is exploring whether it can coordinate on crypto regulation. So his government, who is under Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and central banks and the central bank have long debated laws potentially banning cryptocurrencies, cited the sophisticated technology underpinning virtual assets as requiring discussion on regulatory actions. And the official statement goes as such: we are talking to all nations that if it requires regulation, then one country alone cannot do anything. And this is exactly, I think, where a lot of governments should probably realize they are finding themselves right now. You can't do anything with just one country regulating, considering just by nature, cryptocurrency is a cross-border mechanism. It's inherently a cross-border mechanism to transfer value. You need to have the entire world on some kind of a framework so that cryptocurrency can flow freely. We are talking with all nations, he goes on to say, if we can make some standard operating procedure, which is followed by everyone to make a regulatory framework, and it can be effective. So G20 countries still looking to step it up. Wanted to thank XRP Crypto Wolf for pointing that out. This is not stopping crypto adoption, though, and projects continuing to thrive, like this particular VeChain milestone, guys, from Jeff Batter here on Twitter. VeChain, it's the real thing. Another project that I'm getting really, really excited about. Although, the price movement has not been as great as, let's say, HBAR. VeChain has still seen a significant move since the beginning of 2023. VeChain is up about 55%, right now trading at about 0.023. And so the transaction numbers have hit a milestone. He's retweeting out VeChain Foundation's official tweet here. We don't fake transaction numbers like some blockchains. Each transaction represents honest economic activity powered by the VET token. And guys, here it is. VeChain reaches a new milestone. It finally did cross the 2 million mark in terms of addresses. At the time of writing, the value stood at about 2,435,000. To simplify, addresses known are the total number of addresses that have been seen on the VeChain network. So a huge number. These guys are partnered with Fortune 500 companies as well. Some of them include McDonald's, BMW. I believe they have partnerships too with some fashion designers. Interestingly, VeChain achieved this just a few days after it unveiled the Hive, which is a Web3 and sustainably focused summit. However, despite this new milestone, things on the VeChain price front do not look so good. But, of course, it's not just all about the utility. It's about high volumes of supply and demand. And, a lot of these crypto projects are just waiting for regulation in order to really thrive, in order for real adoption, more committed partners that are wanting to scale up. And, we're just not there yet. Crypto does, as I mentioned, need to be regulated before I think we see this kind of advancement. So, great news here. Wanted to thank Jeff just for posting that. It's a bit of a push and pull, I got to admit. Another one here from XRP Crypto Wolf. So here's the latest from the IMF. They're continuously criticizing El Salvador. They were demonizing them when they originally came out and said they wanted to adopt Bitcoin. And, it's not stopping. El Salvador's Bitcoin risks have not materialized yet. So the IMF is still warning them of the risks. And they're saying, despite the fact that this has been in the works now for about just over a year, with mild degrees of, I think, success and failure, I don't think, most of the country is yet interconnected or want to use Bitcoin necessarily. Here's what the International Monetary Fund has said. So they said that the risks of El Salvador's Bitcoin adoption have not materialized primarily thanks to its limited use, but caution is warranted. Given the legal risks, physical fragility, and largely speculative nature of crypto markets, the authorities should reconsider their plans to expand government exposures to Bitcoin. And they just happened to say this in a statement on Friday. The words follow an annual visit to El Salvador from the United Nations Financial Agency, which followed last month's $600 million bond payment by the Central American nation. Much to the IMF's chagrin, El Salvador made Bitcoin legal tender, as we know, back in September of 2021, and Nayib Bukele, the president, has basically been giving the IMF the middle finger ever since. Because of El Salvador's opaque purchases and holdings, exact investment figures are unknown. Greater transparency over the government's transactions in Bitcoin and the financial situation of the state-owned Bitcoin wallet Chivo remains essential, the IMF said. Well, of course, the IMF wants to know everybody's business, but I got to give El Salvador credit. They are not playing ball. There have even been some recent updates. Spend the Bits is working with El Salvador to get them running Bitcoin on the XRP ledger. So, I mean, the Chivo wallet was an interesting experiment. I think if the citizens understand that Bitcoin, I mean, first of all, you have to understand buy low, sell high. Obviously, that is Bitcoin fundamentals. You will be rich if you buy Bitcoin now and, keep it in your wallet. You will have more money in a year or 2 years down the road. That's how the theory goes. But also, the mechanism, the workflow, the spending of the Bitcoin. I mean, everybody is at an advantage, right? You get your Bitcoin quickly and at a fraction of the price than if you were to transfer the Bitcoin on the original blockchain. Running it on the XRP ledger makes the back-end process a lot more seamless. So I know Spend the Bits has been working with El Salvador. I mean, it would be great to see an entire nation running Bitcoin on the XRP ledger. That is the next step I'm hoping in this story. Anyway, wanted to thank XRP Crypto Wolf for pointing that out. And throughout the years, we have heard murmurings of partnerships, Ripple partnerships that, still really have not materialized in the kinds of capacity that we were hoping before the SEC lawsuit was announced. I mean, there are big players, guys, on the sidelines like Bank of America, ready to run on Ripple. And, of course, there's the other story, the ETHgate story, JP Morgan, the connection there, and Gary Gensler, chair of the SEC, protecting the incumbent players, the banks, the legacy banking system. So, we have that narrative. Mr. HBAR here bringing up something interesting. What if Bank of America is really behind Ripple and XRP and JP Morgan is behind Ethereum? Just ask yourselves, why is it that not a single major American bank is officially behind an L1 protocol, even though both Bank of America and JPM filed patents in 2012 and 2013, respectively, for the use of blockchains? Now, we've got to remember, back in those days, 2012, 2013, none of us, okay, I don't even think many of us were even in the crypto sphere, trading cryptos or anything like that. This was a time when only the OGs were, basically getting rich off Bitcoin transactions. So blockchain DLT technology, this was very new and especially new for banks. However, at that time, Bank of America and JP Morgan put in patents for blockchain. Get this, guys. Bank of America also has been notably active in seeking patents in blockchain technology. Back in 2013, it was among the first to openly claim that cryptocurrencies had clear potential for growth. Bank of America filed in 2014 for 11 blockchain-related patents, and in 2015 for an additional 20 patents related to some of the uses of Bitcoin technology. And it does not end there. Okay, JP Morgan was on the same trajectory. Methods and systems for processing internet payments using the electric funds transfer network. The current assignee, JP Morgan Chase Bank. This is the abstract here, and guys, I will link this all in the description. They filed for patents as well, running blockchain technology, so that their banking systems could benefit. As early as, what was the date on this one? Here, filed application as early as 2013. The application essentially was in and around the time that Ripple was getting off the ground. Now, Mr. HBAR brings up an interesting point. Abandoned. Come on, switch your brain on. Status, Ethereum. Pointing down here that this was, in fact, abandoned, and, there have been no other developments with regards to this. He also posts this link to this Alex Partners document from September of 2016, the race to patent the blockchain. Now, this document talks about blockchain technology in general and banks' developments to essentially, do exactly what we've been talking about. File patents, see how the technology would best suit them. This report does mention Bank of America and JP Morgan Chase along with other companies. So it's interesting to note how early on some of these banks were actually dabbling in blockchain, even though years later, even 5 years later in 2018, banks were just not interested. I mean, the narrative was, or the mainstream perception was, banks are just not interested in cryptocurrency. Again, things that make you go, Mr. HBAR, check out the differences. Fits perfectly with the peculiarities of Ethereum and the XRP ledger. You actually believe that Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, and JP Morgan have just abandoned these ideas and left the whole thing up to Vitalik, Joe, and David? Yeah, interesting. So some more points just highlighting that here from these documents. And again, guys, I will link this in the description for you guys. So there's that. Now let me talk about this from Crypto Meme Guy. So this is a really interesting tie-in here. So Bank of America bet on Ripple and JPM bet on Ethereum. This is how the theory goes. This lawsuit was about the two biggest banks fighting for the future of crypto dominance. And then he brings up this article here from late 2022. Bank of America is a huge partner of Ripple and ready to gain a competitive advantage over peers once the lawsuit is settled. We even heard Brad Garlinghouse comment on that late last year. We've discussed the fact that Bank of America is a huge Ripple partner, and in what capacity? I mean, we have not seen any type of utilization yet because, of course, Bank of America located in the United States of America where there is no crypto clarity. So just adding on to this theory here, Crypto Meme Guy with another great tweet, who stood to make the most money from a Ripple IPO? The bank they are partnered with, Bank of America, ranked number 2 in market cap behind JP Morgan. As soon as Brad Garlinghouse announced that Ripple was interested in going public, the SEC filed a lawsuit on them, and the SEC chose JPM. JPM, obviously, if you've been following the ETHgate story, a strong connection with Consensus and Ethereum, and of course, we know Bank of America through all our research, a connection with Ripple and XRP. If Ripple had gone public, Bank of America would have had made a great deal of money. This would have closed the gap between themselves and JP Morgan Chase. Now take a look at this. Market cap of JP Morgan, $413.85 billion. Bank of America, $284.2 in number 1 and number 2 spot, respectively. But as theorized here, that partnership could have closed the gap and perhaps brought Bank of America on top. And maybe this could be partially why we are seeing the Ripple SEC lawsuit. And if XRP increased in price from adoption and utility, and again, Bank of America would have profited greatly and possibly overtaken JPM in the number 1 spot. By bringing the lawsuit on Ripple, the SEC at that time, Jay Clayton, ensured that Bank of America wouldn't gain market share over JPM because Ripple couldn't IPO and XRP would be suppressed. Don't forget, we also heard that statement from Brad Garlinghouse. That an IPO is definitely on their radar. They're not going to be the first. They're obviously not going to be the last. Obviously, though, the biggest thing is making sure that the SEC lawsuit is far behind them before they go on and offer an IPO. So that has been public knowledge. But now it's all kind of making sense here. Bank of America would have been the greatest beneficiary of this level playing field. So on top of the ETHgate scandal, I guess this kind of goes hand in hand with the ETHgate scandal, the Bank of America partnership, the patents that they've clearly filed, that they clearly were both filing back in 2012, 2013, definitely things to consider, knowing these two opposing banks, very close in market cap, probably vying for the same customers, in direct competition with one another. And just to add some icing onto this, Mr. HBAR bringing up some legal documents, the fact that the SEC, not willing to admit these things, admit that Ripple in October of 2013 had a presentation that took place at the offices of the U.S. Department of the Treasury in Washington, D.C. And if you guys read the answer, you can see that they're not admitting to this. Admit that during the Ripple October 2013 presentation, Chris Larsen shared with the U.S. regulators, including the SEC, Ripple's vision for a global payment system and cross-border payments based on blockchain technology. And if you guys read the answer here, nobody is admitting to anything in these documents. Things that make you go, And Wheezy also bringing up another interesting point here with regards to Aaron Wright. Remember this conversation he had when he proposed to the Fed back in 2014, 2015 about using central bank digital currencies running through Ripple?
15, pretty much like people didn't call it that at the time, but like a permission blockchain for central bank digital currencies. They came to a group of researchers and said, if we hypothetically wanted to digitize the dollar, what would that look like? What we said is, look, you can start with a permission blockchain. It can be, pan jurisdiction, so it's not just for the U.S. dollar, but for a whole bunch of other currencies. So you get that interoperability, right? You get things like we see on Ripple, etc.
So you get that interoperability on Ripple, etc., straight from Aaron right here in this alleged meeting that he had with the Fed back in 2014, 2015. So guys, aren't you happy you're an XRP hodler? Remember, we hold something very, very rare that most people in the world do not hold. These statistics from CoinCarp. Holding addresses for XRP as of yesterday, February the 11th, 2023, only 261,537 addresses, guys. So if you take that number, 261, 537, so 261, 537, and you divide that by the 7.9 billion people on the planet, and you multiply that by 100, we are in the top 3/1000ths of a percentage point of people on planet Earth that hold XRP. Even better than the 0.1%. We just gotta wait for real world utility, and the rest will be history. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.